All right, folks, here it is, the 2026 Nissan Leaf in Sea Breeze Blue. I've always said this about the Nissan Leaf. The people that were driving electric cars in 2011 when this came out, those are the real electric car enthusiasts. Then Tesla came along and all these others, and they made these beautiful cars. These are the OGs. Also, what I absolutely love about this is the Leaf started at $32,000 back in 2011. This now starts at $29,990, and they have another trim coming that should start around the $26,000 mark. So the exterior redesign, this isn't like a little refresh, is gorgeous. It has more of that crossover look to it. Now this blue color certainly helps. I really love that. Now the question you're gonna be asking yourself right away is, does it have NACS? Complicated answer. The short answer is yes. So NACS native into the car, but you can see right here, it says DC fast charging only. Now we go to the other side of the car, and it has the J1772 AC charger on this side of the car. So it's very interesting to me. Personally, I think that they should have just had NACS on both sides of the vehicle, but their thing was they want to make this as easy as possible for already existing owners to where they may already have this charge port at home. And honestly, if you have like a Tesla charger at home, there's just a quick adapter and you plug it in. So it just kind of weird, but not that big of a deal. And I just really like that it has two charge ports on either side of the vehicle. I think that is unique. Now, the other thing you'll notice here, and these are manual doors, so there's no motor in here that's going to break. You'll see this right here is number 2 in Japanese, and this is number 3. 2 is ni, 3 is san. So they have this in about 16 different places, those little Easter eggs all over the vehicle. Now, when we come down to the tire here, so you have this Bridgestone tire. Now, I haven't seen any markings on here that show that this is co-developed with Nissan. And actually the Bridgestone tire, the Turanza EV, which this is not, the Turanza EV wasn't that efficient. So I actually think with like the Hankook Ion Evo or a Salem tire, you could probably squeeze a little bit more efficiency out of this vehicle. These are also the 19-inch wheels. So the further you go up in trims on these, on the base model, you're looking at 303 miles of range. This model on the sticker says 259, but in the computer, when we turn air conditioning off, it was showing like 284 miles of range. And what I really like that they've done on the interior of this is as you change settings, whether you're in sport mode or the air conditioning or heater is off, it reflects the range that you're going to get, and I really enjoy that. Also, this video is brought to you by walkietalkies.us. Traditional walkie-talkies run on public channels, which means anyone can listen in. These are different. ICP walkie-talkies are fully encrypted and secure, so your conversations stay private. They also work nationwide. On a road trip, camping, or even at Disney, they automatically switch to the strongest carrier, whether that be AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile, so you're always covered. And the battery lasts up to 5 days on a single charge, which is perfect for long weekends, vacations, or just family life. For parents, these are a game changer. No apps, no social media, no distractions, just instant communication when you need it most. So whether you're at a theme park or a sporting event or a cruise, or just keeping tabs on your kids in the neighborhood, these radios make staying connected simple, secure, and reliable. So check them out at walkietalkies.us as you see it on your screen or linked in the description. Around the side of the vehicle, they have self-presenting door handles here, which I think is really cool. There's also a little keyhole down here. So that's pretty unique for this car. This is around the $36,000 mark. Is that what it is?
It starts 37 after destination. You're going to be close to 40 probably.
Yeah. So right around $40,000, self-presenting door handles, which takes us to the inside. And then on the rear of the car, you have this handle back here, which is similar to the Toyota Prius. Now, here's one of the issues I have with this car. So this is supposed to be a family-friendly, economical, efficient vehicle that everyone can jump in and go. So as I say, I'm 5'12". Kirk driving, he's 5'13", he's 6'1". So here's his driving position, okay? Very normal driving position, okay, the wheels forward. Now I'm gonna go into the back seat, and look how my feet, I actually have to jam my feet into the underside. Like there's no room down here. I actually can't, yeah, theirs is as straight as I can give them shoved under the front seat.
What's your shoe size?
Shoe size 11.
Okay.
So my right foot is a true 11, my left shoe is a 10.5, but I wear 11s. So that's the size. What I do like, what I'll give them credit for, is the floor. It's a flat floor, so that's really good. A lot of electric vehicles will have this hump here for a drive shaft or something, and it just makes no sense. So they've done a nice job doing that. I wish that there should be more space back here, because it is a very roomy interior. Now, the other cool thing you'll notice right here is this glass. So they have electrochromatic glass. They call it liquid crystal, I think. And you can see it says Leaf right here, and that if the sunlight hits a certain way, it will reflect that onto the ground. The other thing you'll notice is it says Bose right here. So there's a Bose speaker put into the headrest. And in the presentation they did this morning, they mentioned something really cool, that when you're driving on, like with the Google navigation on, it will use this speaker right here to tell the driver what turn is coming up without bothering everyone else in the vehicle. So I thought that that was a really nice detail, a nice way to use this. I bet the sound system is great. We haven't used it yet. 2 USB-C outlets in the back, heated seats as well. And then you have your max 1500 watt charger back here, which is nice. So you can keep your kids' iPads charged so they don't have to talk to you. We also have these seat pockets right here. So that's all good. So overall, it has amenities, but I mean, look at me. I got to trudge out of the back of that vehicle. The other thing that I like here, we have the nice cloth stitching here, okay? And then down here where it's generally pressed plastic, we have a nice leatherette. We have this blue, we'll call it Fajod blue. We'll just name it that. And then we have some piano black and the nice door cards. So I also just noticed it's even got blue on the steering wheel here. So just I don't know, just really adding some luxury features that you wouldn't expect on the Leaf. Plus the seats are extremely comfortable. I can't remember exactly what this material is called, but either way, it's softer than leather. It doesn't crease like leather does, and they're really nice. The one miss though, you know, for as much as this car costs, and we have to address the elephant in the room, everyone's gonna be like, well, how does it compare to a Tesla Model 3? So the Tesla Model 3 starts at $42,490. So this at its top tier is $3,500 less. This does not come with cooled seats. The Tesla Model 3 is standard on cooled seats. Tesla Model 3, 357 miles of range, rear wheel drive. This is 303 miles at the base trim, and it only comes in front wheel drive. It is not all wheel drive yet. That might come out, but I don't know anything about that. As far as ergonomics, another thing we'll do, as Hector said, pop the hood. So we're gonna pop the hood. What is this? What is this? It's an electric vehicle, and it basically, if someone didn't know anything about cars, they would think that this is an engine. So there's not much storage up in this area, which is a little bit disappointing. And they said that they extended on the interior of the car. They moved some space around so the cabin could have more space and put what did they put up here? A heat? Oh no, they changed the charger location. So they could have shortened the length of the vehicle. It's not as long as the previous generation, and it sits a little squat, but because they were able to shorten it up, it looks like it's a taller vehicle. And I just feel like with all of that innovation, the fact that it doesn't have a frunk and the rear seat in this is very tight, that's kind of a letdown. But overall, once you get past that, or if you don't need that space, I think it's a excellent redesign, and this is what Nissan needed, because they were, again, making this car when it wasn't popular to make electric vehicles, and the innovation just slowed over the years. So I think the redesign on it is great, especially the rear of this. It almost reminds me of the 1986 Civic Si. So I just love the lighting here. Reminds me of the Nissan Z, which just looks great. This trim has an automatic trunk, and then you come into the back here. It does have a little bit of a sub trunk. There's that level, and then at the very bottom here, you have your your level 2 charger, level 1 charger with the NEMA 1450 adapter. So you have your 1450 adapter here. So that's nice. They said that they do all come with this, so that is all good, and that pops down into place. Now, from the trunk, with this being a hatchback, you might want to put a bicycle or something like that in it. You can easily pull these seats down with that lever right there, and they fold down. Damn, you got some nice padding right there. That's all good. And for you parents out there, one thing I just noticed, these little tabs, these pop out, and then you have that bar down there so you can latch your car seat in. That is a lifesaver. When these are jammed down in, it's very hard to get your car seat adapt. And the bar down there is paint match body color, so that's cool as well. So now on to the interior of the Leaf. Nice job up here. So in the front, you have a lot of space. Even down here, I can even slide over and almost play footsies with Kirk over here, so that's nice. Also, Kirk, shout out to your YouTube channel. Give it a plug.
Yeah, Kirk Kreifels. It's just type in Kirk Cars on YouTube. I'm the only Kirk talking about cars. I cover just about everything. So it's been fun to hang out with Ben and see how he does things. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's always amazing. You go to these events and you meet people with these huge audiences if you've never heard of them. So we're able to talk strategy and whatever, but who cares? On to the infotainment here. Now, what, if I know my audience, I know you guys, you have Teslas, okay? So we need to compare this. So if we go here, okay, we've got some nice graphics here. They spin around. If you want to customize it, like Kirk has a Pixel 8, you can hold this in and then you can customize the layout here. So if I want to have my battery here, if I don't want that, I can exit that and I can auto arrange, or I can add something. Let's see here. Yeah, there's like different designs around what you may feel is important. So there is some customization that you can do, and the clarity of these screens is very nice and responsive. And what I also like is, you got your Android Auto, you can live in here, but if you want to get out and you just want to go to the native infotainment, you click right here and all of these buttons are currently available for you. So I really like how they've integrated Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with the native infotainment. On this screen here, you can set your charge limit, kind of move that all around. It actually lets you go down to 40. So that's cool. Battery heater is a $300 option, so you can turn that on or off if you live in the colder climates. It also has a heat pump, so when you're driving in cool weather, you'll be able to run a little bit more efficiently, whereas previous models did not have that. You can set a charging schedule, so if you're at home and you're on the rate plans where you get cheaper to charge your car, like at night, you can set all of that in here. And you can do your arrival state of charge to whatever percent you are comfortable with when you're on road trips. So I think that that is all good. You also notice down here, you have drift mode right here. Just kidding, it's just your drive modes. So you have your personal, sport, standard, and eco. And then you have E-Step, which is the most aggressive regenerative braking setting. Now, one thing about this, it doesn't have single pedal driving in the traditional sense. So that's, I don't know, kind of a letdown. I really like that. At the same time, I really like that this trim level has these paddle shifters and I can reduce or increase my regenerative braking there. Steering wheel feels great. It's a really nicely done steering wheel. This button right here gives you access to the right side of the screen. This button right here takes access to the left side of the screen. That's how that works. I'm not a huge fan of pressing this back and forth, but I do have just a volume knob where I can quickly access that and skip to the next song. So that's really nice. We do have the surround view camera. That is great. And the other thing I'll say is these screens are fairly clear. Some of the, I've reviewed a Honda Civic recently. I mean, it looked like I put saran wrap over the camera. I thought, there was something wrong, but there wasn't. So this is nice. You have all of these different camera angles that you can quickly access on the car. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so you have different camera angles so your wife doesn't curb the car. And then, if you say, well, how'd you curb the car? There's cameras in it. And then the argument's over. So that's nice. Beautiful little lunch setting here. They're really whining and dining us. They don't want us to say anything bad. But overall, it really is a good looking vehicle. They actually did a nice job with the redesign. But what we need to do now is actually take it for a drive, see what the navigation is like whispering into my ear, and then see what it feels like on throttle, suspension, all of that stuff. So let's take this little robin's egg for a drive. All right, let's fire this thing up. It does have a start button. Oh, self-adjusting seat. Okay, nice little startup. So again, I guess one thing here, it's a little warm out. I wish it had cooled seats. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't. These are tech-forward vehicles, and it doesn't. But it may come on a future model, not the biggest deal. So yeah, let's see what the Leaf is like to drive. So we're gonna go back to our hotel.
That's it.
There it is. Is this the native infotainment?
That's native.
Yeah. There we go. I'm confused. Okay,
yours.
Yeah. Okay. Hour and 28 minutes. All right, so again, the driver's seat is powered. Passenger seat is all manual adjustments there. Steering wheel's really nice shape. And then our drivetrain gear selector down here. Nice clear camera. All right, so the first thing anyone's gonna do when they're driving a Leaf is throw it in sport, I would think. Also, how about these compounds that they find? They just find compounds for us to go shoot video and eat lunch at. I'm flat. We're flooring it. Yeah, it is shocking. The big thing with electric vehicles is that instant torque hit, and they've really smoothed out the torque curve at low speeds. Now, that will be good for saving your tires over time. And when you are at highway speeds, when Kirk was driving earlier, you know, if you floor it to get past someone, there's a little bit of torque steer too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, very subtle.
Yeah.
But when you want to fly to get past someone, you have that instantaneous torque. Whereas if you're in a cheap, like a Nissan Sentra, or if you're in a Honda Civic or something like that, it really takes a minute for the power to actually build up. So this still uses that benefit of the electric motors. Handling, you know, not that it really matters, but it's good. It's nice. The suspension, we've been in this car for hours now. The suspension feels good. It feels exactly what it needs to be, and it actually punches up, I would say, for what the car costs. I would say that this punches up in terms of almost a luxury feel to it. The displays are beautiful. They're high resolution. They're really well done. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto in here as well. And I'm using the native infotainment with Google built in. I can't tell you the last time I've not just gone to Apple CarPlay and said, let's just use this. It's actually something you would want to use. And that's a nice change to see from a manufacturer. The other thing this has is a heads-up display in front of me. It has navigation mixed into it, my speed, and it says in 1.4 miles, I'm making a right. It has the street name and all of that. So that's a nice feature. That's something that Tesla Model 3 or Y do not have. You have to go up to the premium X or S models to have that. Even the Cybertruck there's just a screen here and you're paying so much for that. And this is just, again, it's really well done. This is on the level of something like a Mercedes-Benz. These screens are that good. The other thing is you may not like having these buttons down here. I can tell you after having these cars for a week, you're gonna really like these selectors. It's a solid button you hit, you know what gear you're in, and you're good to go. Now this does have E-step. So E-step is interesting. So when I hit E-step, the brake actually depressed a little bit and now it's releasing. So that's interesting. So that is the most aggressive regenerative braking setting. This does not have a true single pedal driving. If you've driven Teslas or other EVs, some of them do have full single pedal driving. So at like 5 miles per hour, you're gonna have to use the brake, which is fine. What I really like is on these higher trim models, you have paddle shifters. So if you're doing some spirited driving in your Leaf, you can come into a turn and tap the paddles and really get some nice regen, which will, it's just an engaging way to drive an electric vehicle. Obviously, it's not a manual transmission, but it gives you some way to interact with it.
And I will say for the head-up display, while you have turn-by-turn on the native navigation, you also have it on your phone. If you have an address on your phone, whether it's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it does still pop up in the head-up display, your turn-by-turn.
Oh, so there is some integration yeah, that's nice.
It's really nice.
Now, the question you may have is, how does this work with a Tesla charger? And we found one. All right, so we just came across this Tesla charger as we were making this left here, and it works. All I did is I went into the Tesla app. I said, charge my other EV. I clicked on stall 2D. This is all within the Tesla app, and we're ramped up in charging. Now, we're not at a low state of charge, and the max charging speed is 150 kilowatts, so we're at 80 at 70%. We're actually at a very nice charging speed, and it was simple. We plugged in to the NACS charger, and it's working perfectly. And then as far as, look, there's plenty of cable length here. It's not stressed. And then you can see it has nice clearance on the front end if you need to go over a curb. So ergonomically, they did a nice job integrating all of this. So here's a really nice demonstration. This is almost like a KOA setup here with your Leaf. So you got your tent here, and then we're doing the V2L charging here in this adapter. You can see here it says AC on, and then how to turn it off. It can be powering your cooler. It can be powering these lamps and the Bose sound system. And then we're cooking stew up here, and everything's good, and the family's happy. And then you're charging your transportation back here with your e-bike right out of the back of the vehicle. So you can see the great usability of an electric vehicle having this huge pack. And then if your power was to go out at home, you could plug your refrigerator in back here with an extension cord, or your Wi-Fi, or whatever needs to be powered. I just think they've done a really nice job of taking the features of an electric vehicle and actually using them for what they can be used for in these types of situations. So really nice visualization of all of that. Now, the chance of you actually doing this, I don't know, but it's nice to see. On the main display here, there's 3 different settings you can run through. So I have my economy, I almost said fuel economy, and then you have your 67.4 miles per kilowatt hour, more of that. Oh, that's a nice look.
Yeah.
So you have your navigation. Actually looks great. Again, high resolution screens. That was one of my complaints lately with Nissan, Honda, Toyota. It's like you have terrible backup cameras. These displays are antiquated with no information. But the Leaf they've just truly done a nice job with this vehicle. If in terms of what we've experienced today, my only real complaint is that the back seat I feel like it's tighter than it should be. It's not that quick, but again, it still is peppy. We got, what, 7.4 seconds to 60?
I think it was faster. I want to say it was closer to like
7-ish. Seconds to 60. So again, it's not great, but also the instantaneous torque makes it feel a little bit better, and especially when you're moving, it's nice. So there's an asterisk though to everything I can say about this vehicle, and that is the fact that it starts right now at $29,000. That's for the 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. They are coming out with a cheaper 52 kilowatt hour pack, and that should be around maybe 26. I guess we'll wait and see. Much less range, but everyone for all these years has said EVs are too expensive, blah, blah, blah. And then now you're gonna have a brand new 25-ish $1,000 car that's brand new with a brand new warranty with access to Tesla's supercharging network. And that's what we've been asking for. In the redesign, it's actually a nice looking vehicle. It's actually something you would like to own, whereas the old one just didn't have any styling like this. They've, in my opinion, I think Nissan has done a really nice job of this. On paper, not anything spectacular in terms of range or charging speeds, but it does have a heat pump. I think the value on this EV is excellent. Now, the thing you may be wondering to yourself is, what is it like driving across the country using third-party chargers if you don't have something like a Tesla? Well, check out this video right here where I drive my Rivian R1T 4,000 miles across the United States. You're gonna really like this one.